Hello everyone, nice to see you again. We hope you like our videos. You can hit the bell and subscribe so you don't miss a video. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Mosaics were one of the most popular forms of art in the Byzantine Empire. They were extensively used to depict religious subjects on the interior of churches within the empire and remained a popular form of expression from 6th century to the end of the empire in the 15th century. After the fall of the empire, many mosaics underwent destruction, but many remained well preserved and are extant to this day. The mosaic art of the Byzantine Empire exerted a significant influence on the Muslim art during the Umayyad and Abbasid Caliphate and later in the time of Ottoman Empire. Mosaics were initially used to depict religious figures such as Christ as well as different scenes from the Bible. The Emperor Constantine adopted Christianity and in 330 moved his capital from Rome to Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, at the eastern frontier of the Roman Empire. Christianity flourished and gradually supplanted the Greco-Roman gods that had once defined Roman religion and culture. This religious shift dramatically affected the art that was created across the empire. Subsequently, the mosaics came to depict non-religious subjects as well. Constantinople was the richest repository of Byzantine mosaics throughout the empire's history. The city was sacked in the 13th century and many notable buildings damaged. These buildings, including the Hagia Sophia Church, the Pamakaristos Monastery, were restored later in the century and embellished with a new set of mosaics. Notable examples of original Byzantine mosaics of this period include those used in the decoration of the Chora Church in Constantinople. By the time of Justinian's reign in the 6th century, mosaics were being commissioned directly by the emperor himself as well as the top bureaucracy. During Justinian's rule, Italy came under the Byzantine rule and Justinian made the city of Ravenna his administrative center. It was during this period that many grand structures were built in the city and these buildings were adorned with exquisite mosaics. These include the mosaics in Church of San Vitale and the Basilica of Sant'Apollinare. The earliest of these mosaics in Ravenna were commissioned directly by Justinian or his wife. But the trend continued over subsequent centuries and many iconic mosaics of Ravenna date to 7th century. During the 8th century, the Byzantine rulers decreed the use of any icons to be heretic. This included the depiction of religious figures, which had been the dominant theme of Byzantine mosaics in previous centuries. As a consequence, many of the mosaics created during the previous centuries were destroyed during this period. After the ban on icons was lifted in the empire, the creation of mosaics underwent a rapid revival. It was during this period from the 9th to 11th centuries that some of the most magnificent Byzantine mosaics were created. Most notable examples of mosaics during this period were made on the interior of the Hosios Lucas Monastery as well as the Neomoni Monastery. Between 1204 and 1261, the Byzantine Empire suffered another crisis: the Latin occupation. Crusaders from Western Europe invaded and captured Constantinople in 1204, temporarily toppling the empire in an attempt to bring the Eastern Empire back into the fold of Western Christendom. By 1261 the Byzantine Empire was free of its Western occupiers and stood as an independent empire once again, albeit markedly weakened. The breadth of the empire had shrunk, and so had its power. Nevertheless, Byzantium survived until the Ottomans took Constantinople in 1453. In spite of this period of diminished wealth and stability, the arts continued to flourish in the late Byzantine period, much as it had before. Byzantine art and culture continued to live on in its far-reaching outposts, as well as in Greece, Italy, and the Ottoman Empire, where it had flourished for so long. The Russian Empire, which was first starting to emerge around the time Constantinople fell, carried on as the heir of Byzantium. Similarly, in Italy, when the Renaissance was first emerging, it borrowed heavily from the traditions of Byzantium. Why did Byzantine art use mosaics? Byzantine Mosaics, 255 artworks, Mosaic. Mosaics were initially used to depict religious figures such as Christ as well as different scenes from the Bible. What did Byzantine mosaics symbolize? On Byzantine Art and Symbolism, Gallery Byzantium. Byzantine art, as mentioned above, did not seek to depict a physical perfection, like Greek or Roman art, but to evoke the spirit of holy figures. Their luminous paintings captured the spirit of the Bible and helped to popularize Christianity. Christian symbols are a staple of Byzantine art. When was the first Byzantine mosaic made? Early Byzantine mosaics in the Middle East are a group of Christian mosaics created between the 4th and the 8th centuries in ancient Syria, Palestine and Egypt when the area belonged to the Byzantine Empire. What do mosaics symbolize? Mosaics were symbols of wealth and status. Wealthy Romans chose themes to reflect their status. Mythological stories would show off a man's book learning, while scenes of wild animals being captured for fights in the arena might highlight his sponsorship of public games. What makes Byzantine art unique? Byzantine art, 4th, 15th century CE, is generally characterized by a move away from the naturalism of the classical tradition towards the more abstract and universal. There is a definite preference for two-dimensional representations, and those artworks which contain a religious message predominate. What is the difference between Roman and Byzantine mosaics? Whereas Roman mosaics were mostly used as floors, the Byzantines specialized in covering walls and ceilings. Byzantine mosaicists utilized glass tesserae, called smalti, made especially for mosaic to create glowing areas of color and luminescence. Where were Byzantine mosaics found? Byzantine mosaics discovered under Gaza Farm, Gaza. Byzantine mosaics dating from the 5th to the 7th century have been unveiled in the central Gaza Strip on Friday. Farmer Salman al-Nabahin unearthed the relic 6 months ago while working in his olive orchard in the Ba'ij refugee camp. He then spent 3 months excavating it with the help of his son. What is the Byzantine mosaic technique? When the small pieces are irregularly shaped and hand-cut, the mosaic mural, or artwork, is considered to be a Byzantine technique. The mosaic pieces are typically squares, rectangles and triangles. Each piece fits adjacent to its neighbor. The mosaics follow the artwork lines. What role does mosaic design play in Byzantine art and why? By placing these figures in a spiritual world, the mosaics gave worshippers some access to that world as well. At the same time, there are real-world political messages affirming the power of the rulers in these mosaics. In this sense, art of the Byzantine Empire continued some of the traditions of Roman art.